welcome to episode 281 of YarnGasm. I'm Kristen, and this is a podcast about primarily knitting and sewing and making all the things in Brooklyn, New York, where I'm from, and I live with my husband Dennis and our adorable cat Bella. And as always, I'm so happy that you're taking some time out of your day to chat about those things with me. And I'm back this week, yay! Last week, Dennis and we took a break. We went up to Cape Cod, where his family has a house out there, and I'll talk more about that in the blather segment at the end of the episode, where I chat about all things Kristen not related, always related to knitting. But yeah, so stick around if you're down for that. But I am back this week, and just a quick thank you so much to everyone who left me a question in the Ask Me Anything thread over in the YarnGasm Ravelry group. Last week while I was away, I pre-recorded an Ask Me Anything episode, and it was so much fun to answer all of your questions. I tried to do my best to answer all of them. Some of them I did not answer because I felt they were a little too personal, but for the most part I did answer quite a few questions. So anyway, thank you so much to everybody who left a question in there. I hope you enjoyed the episode as much as I enjoyed recording it, and I hope to do a couple more of those in the future. Dennis and I are actually planning another vacation in a couple weeks, so we're milking the summer, you guys. We are carping that freaking summer. So yeah, anyway, I'm rambling at this point, and I should probably mention that if you would like to follow me on social media, I am at Voolenvine on the Instagrams, where I am most active. You can also follow me on Ravelry. I'm Voolenvine there as well. Show notes for this episode can be found in the doobly-doo down below in the description box. I've started posting the show notes there because I feel like they're more accessible in that area as opposed to posting them on a separate blog, and creates a lot less work for me. So anyway, that's always good. The YarnGasm Ravelry group, join it. It's so much fun. It's the place to be if you want to hop in on some of our knit-alongs, make-alongs. There's a lot happening. There's the Box of Socks knit-along happening right now, which is a year-long knit-along, and then there's also the Year of the Garment knit-along that's happening there as well. So I really enjoy seeing the activity that's happening, and the community that's built around that group is just, it's amazing. So anyway, I just want to say thank you so much to everybody for hopping over there and joining the community and just being awesome. But for this episode, I have quite a few stuff to catch you up on. What I've been making, what I've been sewing, what I've been spinning. Oh my gosh, you guys, there's been spinning. It's, who am I? Who am I? There's been some naughty stash enhancements. So stick around, but before I get into what I've been making, just a quick word from my amazing sponsor, Skillshare. So Skillshare is an awesome platform that I use to learn all the things, because if you follow the podcast, I'm always trying to learn something new. Lately, I've been trying to up my photography game, and I recently took a class called The Art of Editing, Lightroom Workflow by Nick Keel. He shows you how to take a photograph and process it in Adobe Lightroom. This class has really helped me up my game in Lightroom and photography, and I want to learn so much more from this class. Whatever it is you want to learn, it's 9 out of 10, it's on Skillshare, so definitely check it out. And as if Skillshare wasn't awesome enough, they're offering my viewers, you guys, a 2-month free subscription to give them a try, and you guys, that is a pretty sweet deal. So check in the description box below for the link and enter the promo code at checkout and give them a try. And you guys know that I would never promote anything I didn't use myself or recommend, so definitely give Skillshare a try. 2 thumbs up, 4 if I had. I don't have 4 thumbs, but anyway, I would give them 4 thumbs if I had 4 thumbs, but I just don't do. So since I had been away on vacation, I made a lot of progress on my smocket shawl. I did bring quite a few projects with me. I brought my smocket shawl by Stephen West. I brought my rose cardigan by Andrea Mowry, which I have not worked on, but it came with me. I just didn't work on it. And I did bring a new project to cast on. However, I did not end up casting it on, and I brought a sock. So yeah, variety, when I go away for a week, I need to have that comfort of variety. Otherwise I get a little fidgety and panicky. Turns out I only really worked on my smocket shawl, a pattern by Stephen West, and I'm on the border. Here's where I am with my smocket shawl, squished up on a pair of 24-inch US 5 wooden circulars. I believe they're by Clover, but these could probably do with a needle switch, but you know what? I'm lazy, so I'm just gonna leave them on the 24 inches. Cause yeah, it kinda looks like a beard. Faded beard, I don't know, guys. Yeah, anyway, but yeah, I'm all done fading the body, and now I'm working on the border. And as I mentioned, after you're done, the body is knit across, so side to side, and then you pick up all the selvage stitches along the edge, and then you knit the border out. So that is what I did, and I have to say I did hit a wall. I finished knitting the body in the car on the way back from Cape Cod, so I was like, yay, I can just get a start on the border. And then I picked up all the stitches on the border and then realized I read the directions wrong. I didn't make the yarn overs. You have to pick up and knit a stitch, yarn over, pick up and knit a stitch, yarn over. I did not yarn over while I picked up all those stitches. I gave it a little timeout. When we got back, I waited until Sunday. So we got back on Friday night, and then on Sunday I revisited the shawl and redid picking up the stitches along the edge of, you know, the border. So yeah, that is where I am with that. So in case you're wondering for the millionth time on the podcast, I'm going to mention what yarns I'm using. This light color right here is La Bien-Aimée in her Dusk colorway, and then it fades into Skein Queen in her Mountain Heather colorway, and then it fades into the Woolen Rabbit in the Chocolate Chambord colorway. And then which is chocolate chambord is color C, and then you pick up all the stitches along the edge with color C, the chocolate chambord, and then I'm gonna fade it out with all the rest of the colors. So anyway, yay, Smocket shawl. I have a funny feeling this will be done by the time I record the next episode. But how cool is that? Look at that fade. I think it's just so cool. This is gonna get so much wear in the autumn and winter, and I think this is gonna be my new favorite shawl. And then when I had my little pick up stitch snafu with that shawl, I whipped out my trusty sock, as you do. And yeah, this is my hand-dyed yarn in the Edinburgh color on footsie base. So these are really slow. This is a very slow going project, you guys. I think I cast these on when after I got back from Edinburgh, so that was in March. Again, my sock knitting mojo has not yet returneth. It is still in the dumps, but you know, socks do come in handy when I have those moments where I don't want to work on anything else, but I do want to knit. So just plain mindless stockinette in the round. And I can show you, I actually knit from the heel all the way up to here in the car back from Cape Cod. So that's about, I want to say, like a good 2 hours of knitting in between, you know, chatting with Dennis and, you know, making pit stops, I don't know, what have you. But socks always come in handy for me. So, and this is the second sock. So no second sock syndrome here. I just have to finish it and then I will have a pair of socks. Call me crazy, I did bring some spinning with me on vacation. I was kind of questioning myself. Like I packed Kew Drop spindles. So I brought my Bosworth spindle, and then I left it upstairs, but I brought my oh goodness, what is it? Jenkins Finch. I purchased it. If I have a photo, I'll pop it right here, but I purchased that at Rhinebeck last year. I purchased my Jenkins Finch at Rhinebeck last year, so October 2017. But yeah, I brought that along with me because I had a project that I was working on with that. And then I also brought my Bosworth spindle, which I freaking love. This thing was an investment, but you guys, it is so well balanced and I love it to pieces, and I'm so happy that I took the plunge, bit the bullet, and got me one of these because it is such a lovely spindle. So I had some Hobbledehoy fiber that was already on here, and it was a big, I wouldn't say like a 2-ounce battling that I've had in my stash for eons and eons and eons, and it was already kind of spun up on here. So I'm like, you know what, I'm gonna bring it with me. If I feel like spinning, I'll force myself to finish it. You know, as opposed to just taking some brand new fiber with me, I would just finish when I start. I think that's what I was going for. So anyway, I brought it with me, and then yeah, while I was there, I just, you know, I found myself in one of those moods where I'm like, I could just spin right now. And pulled it out and yeah, just had at it. Dennis's parents were up there for a few days before they left to go back home, so Dennis and I could have the whole house to ourselves and have like a proper vacation. Before they left, his mother actually, we share a lot of the same interests when it comes to fiber arts and everything. So she's a weaver, an amazing weaver, an amazing spinner, and knitter, and she does all the fiber things. So she's amazing. And she had a loom up there, she had her Louette spinning wheel up there, she had a Swift up there. So I was really excited when she said that, you know, if you feel like spinning, you can use the Louette. And I was like, oh, really? So anyway, she was so awesome and let me use it. She showed me how to, you know, set it up and everything. And honestly, like I was like, I'm so excited that you're gonna let me use it, but I don't know if I'm actually going to sit in front of the spinning wheel. But after I picked up my spindle and started spinning, and she said that she had some extra fiber lying around, she showed me, you know, she showed me the fiber that I could use. And it was just, you know, undyed natural merino wool, and she had like an undyed cream colored one, a gray one, and then like this really beautiful chocolate merino, I'm sorry, not merino. Why did I think it was merino? It's not merino. She had like, it was Shetland. So this really beautiful, gorgeous chocolate Shetland. So after I was done spinning all the singles using my battling from Hobbledehoy, I was like, this would look so cool plied up with some chocolate Shetland. And I don't know how I did it, but I have yarn. I made yarn, you guys. I spun this puppy up during the week that I was there. How freaking cool is that? So yeah, it has, and Shetland is kind of toothy. It's not the softest next to skin type of fiber, but the battling was kind of a blend of like silk and merino and stellina. So there's some sparkle in here as well, but it just applied together, it just softened it up completely. And it's so, guys, I don't know what I'm gonna make with this, but I'm just so excited that I finally sat back down at a spinning wheel and banged out this puppy right here. And it's about, I want to say like a fingering to sport weight yarn, and I got about maybe 155 grams out of this. So I don't know where I got all that spinning mojo, but it came back with a vengeance, and really excited about this. So yeah, and I spun it on the Louette, and it was my very first time spinning on a Louette, or any, I want to say like any other spinning wheel for that matter, because I have a Lendrum, which I love to pieces. It was my very first spinning wheel, and it was actually a shot in the dark. I know the way buying a spinning wheel is, the way you should buy a spinning wheel is the same way you should technically buy a sewing machine. You know, you try out a couple different spinning wheels and you find the one that you find the best fit for you. However, I'm lazy, and I just decided, you know, I don't have any spinning wheel dealers in the neighborhood, and I didn't want to wait to visit a dealer or anything. So what do? You research all this stuff online, and the Lendrum got the best reviews as far as, you know, a first spinning wheel and just overall usage. So yeah, I really lucked out with that. I love my Lendrum, and it was really fun getting to learn how to use a Louette. The learning curve wasn't very difficult at all. It was just kind of, I will admit, like when I first sat down to spin on it, it was a little wonky for me. It does take a little bit of getting used to. I feel like my Lendrum is a lot more smoother, and I like the fact that it has a double treadle. The Louette that my mother-in-law has a single treadle, so a double treadle, I'm doing this with my hands, it means it has 2 paddles for your feet, and the Louette had a single treadle, meaning 1 treadle for your foot. So anyway, I really enjoyed getting to work with it, and yeah, highly recommend. That's spinning for this week. I'm itching to sit back down at the wheel and spin some more fiber, because I do have a lot of fiber that's dearly neglected in my stash. So I don't know, I might have some more spinning to share with you next week. I don't know. I'm really trying though not to buy any more fiber, because again, I have a lot of stash to work through. But anyway, yeah, so that is that. Moving along, I have some stash acquisitions to share with you. Stash enhancement acquisitions. I never really know what to call this segment. other than I have things to add to my stash. And I was not planning on purchasing this. However, when I saw it in person, I could not resist, you guys. So anyway, when I should talk about the yarn shops that I went to when I visited Cape Cod. Generally, when Dennis and I go up, we usually visit A Great Yarn in Chatham, which is a wonderful, wonderful yarn shop. I highly recommend it. The owners are amazing. However, we didn't get over there this trip. So unfortunately, we did not get to visit A Great Yarn this time. However, I did get to check out 2 new to me yarn shops that many of you have recommended, and I'm just really excited that I finally got to check them out. One is brand spanking new that just opened up in Dennis, Massachusetts, or Dennis, Cape Cod, I should say. It's called Salt Yarn Studio, and it used to be Ladybug Fibers, I want to say. It's an old location that I believe closed down, and then Salt Yarn Studio took over, and I had the chance to check them out. And you guys, this shop is super cute, and the staff are incredibly friendly. I felt so welcome when I walked in there. I will say they didn't have a huge selection, but they didn't have the usual suspects like Cascade or you know, the basic stuff that you find at any run-of-the-mill yarn shop. They actually had a very nice selection of Brooklyn Tweed and Woolfolk, and there's another brand that I cannot remember. You know, again, they are a brand new yarn shop. The shop seems a bit big for what they have to offer, but again, they're new, and I imagine that they're going to expand their inventory, and I can tell like it's a great space for classes and whatnot. So highly recommend that you check them out if you're in the neighborhood. I did not purchase anything from there just because nothing was jumping out at me, but yeah, I think they have a lot of great potential, and I can't wait to visit them again next year. But I did finally make it over to Black Purl Yarn Studio in Sandwich, Massachusetts. Sandwich, Cape Cod. And I've been wanting to go to them for such a long time. However, Sandwich is never really on our, you know, it's kind of out of the way for us. But this trip, because we were out there for a whole week, we made time to check it out. And you guys, I'm so glad that we did, because that yarn shop is amazing. But again, the staff was incredibly friendly. Many of you were telling me about Candy, and I'm totally blanking on the other lady who worked there, but again, super helpful, super friendly. They gave me my space. They didn't hover or anything. And they had like a great selection. They had Shibui, they had Sweet Georgia, they had Green Mountain Spinnery, they had like a lot of really unique brands. I can't even name all of them, but yeah, I checked out their Shibui collection, and I was a little naughty because when I saw this in person, I was just like, my mouth was just watering, and it followed me home, you guys. Yeah, I copied Helen Stewart. So if you keep up with the Curious Handmade podcast or Helen Stewart, the designer behind Curious Handmade Designs, she just knit a sweater by Locatelli called Like a Cloud. Granted, I did not buy a whole sweater quantity's worth. I only bought 2 of each base because I don't know, I could see this being a really nice shawl, but this is the same color and same yarn that she used to knit her Like a Cloud cardigan, and it's even more stunning. The color is even more stunning in person than it is in photos. Like even in photos, I was just like, that is such a pretty color. And you guys, it's like this beautiful peacock blue-green. And I am not a blue person by any means, but this blue-green, it's just right up my alley. The color is Cove, and the bases that I got, there are 2 separate bases, is Shibui Cima, 70% super baby alpaca, and 30% fine merino, and it is so soft and love it. And then I'm gonna hold it together using also lace weight kid silk mohair. It's 60% kid silk mohair and 40% silk. Yeah, my wallet still hates me, but my heart is happy. Okay, so moving along, let's talk sewing, because I did some sewing, you guys. I have a new dress and I'm in love with it, and it is my new favorite, and I don't want to take it off ever, 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 ever. So if you follow me on Instagram, you probably saw photos that I took wearing and modeling the dress. This is the Kew Dress. by Nina Lee Patterns, and this is my second incarnation of this pattern. The first one, I'll pop a photo of it here. I used some quilting cotton with some really cute kitty faces all over it. It's, I don't know, it's really fun fabric, and I love that dress to bits and pieces, but because it's quilting cotton, it doesn't really have a nice drape to it. And I was kind of using that as a muslin to sew this version, which is challis fabric. And the pattern and the fabric is a print by Cotton and Steel, and it is very tropical, very Hawaiian, and totally out of my comfort zone, but again, it's so me and I love it. Yeah, I think the color really helps because it has like these mauve ferns and flowers all over it, and then has like this midnight blue and black ferns in the background, and it's really awesome. So I'll stand up so you can see. But yeah, it's a button down. It has darts over here, and it matches up with darts on the skirt, and it has like a sewn waistline. Yeah, I'm trying to think what else. Check out the buttons, you guys. I actually found these on Amazon, and I saw them and I was just like, yeah, those would be so perfect with this dress. I'm just so head over heels with the way this turned out, and I have to say, I am not one for the cold shoulder look that's really popular right now. I know a lot of people are into that style and that fashion right now. If you're not familiar with cold shoulder, it's technically this style where you're exposing your shoulders. It also comes in the form of just, you know, those, you know, off the shoulder. There's like a piece of elastic. It's an off the shoulder top, you know, with a piece of elastic holding the shirt up, but it has like a giant ruffle coming down, and it's not really my look, but for some reason this look suits me. I don't know, I'm just very happy with, I just feel comfortable in it. I don't feel like I'm trying when I wear this. It's just, you know, it feels very comfortable and very me, very my style, and I'm just really happy with the way it turned out. I was a little skeptical about it, but when I saw the fabric and I saw the pattern, I was just like, that has to happen. So yeah, I'm trying to think of any issues that I ran into sewing with this. Honestly, I can't say that I did run into any issues at all while sewing this. It just came together so nicely and so quickly and easy. I would say it took me about 6 hours total to crank this out. I spent all of Sunday. Because I didn't get to sew on vacation, I just told Dennis, I'm like, Sunday, I am sitting down, I'm just sewing the entire day, don't bug me. So, yeah, I want to say that I started sewing this, I started cutting out all the pieces around like 2 o'clock in the afternoon, and then I didn't finish sewing it until like 9 o'clock at night. So I took a break for dinner in between then, but yeah, I powered through the entire day and banged it out, and yeah, really, really happy with it. Yeah, I just did basic seams, nothing fancy, and yeah, I even sewed the buttonholes and sewed on the buttons the same day. I love making buttonholes, you guys. There's just something about sewing buttonholes that are just so fun. Sewing on the buttons, I will say, not so fun. And then I had a lot of fun taking photos of the dress. As you know, I'm practicing photography and trying to, I did take a little risque photo. If you swipe through the entire Instagram thing, there's one photo at the end of the series of photos that I did post of me wearing the dress, where it's just, I'm feeling very like femme fatale, and I felt a little apprehensive posting that photo because it's not something it's not how I normally pose, but anyway, I had a lot of fun shooting and processing those photos, and it's so exciting. I'm learning, you guys. I'm really learning, because yeah, I really want to nail this photography thing. I want to get good at it, so, and I feel like I'm making progress. So anyway, yeah, sewing. That's my sewing project for this week, and I'm trying to think if there's anything else. No, that's all she wrote. So I am gonna answer a quick question from the Ask Away thread, because I feel like it's been quite a while since I've answered a question from that thread, and that is a thread in the YarnGasm Ravelry group where you can ask me anything, and I will do my best to either answer it in the thread, or once in a while I'll pick a question from the thread to answer on the podcast. So this week we have a question from Kayla123, and I edited her question to make it concise and to the point, and she asks, Can you recommend a relatively inexpensive drop spindle and fiber for a complete novice spinner? And since I mentioned spinning on the podcast, I felt it was a very fitting question. So yeah, I would recommend for a complete newbie spinner, I would recommend a top whirl spindle, and top whirl is exactly what this is. This is the type of spindle that I learned on, and I would also recommend a relatively light spindle, anywhere between 1 ounce and 2 ounces. I would say like a good 1.5 ounce spindle is a good place to start. Again, there's no right or wrong way to learn how to spin. I'm just sharing with you how I learned how to spin on a spindle. While this one was an investment, you know, I want to say this was about $90 US. I wouldn't, if you are a newbie spinner, obviously I would make sure that you actually enjoy spinning before you invest in something like this. And thankfully there are a lot of inexpensive drop spindles out there. I know Shacked makes a $20 top whirl spindle. I think it's called a high-low spindle. And there's also, if you're looking for something a little bit more fun with personality, Turtle Made on Etsy. She makes really fun 3D printed spindles. You can get, she also makes Turkish spindles, and you know, she has a lot of fun options for you. You can mix and match colors and everything, so that's definitely something to look into. I believe her spindles are anywhere from like $10 up, so you can probably get I think one of her top whirl spindles goes for like $17 US, so definitely check her out. Of course, I will post links to their shops in the description box below in case you want to check them out. And as far as fiber is concerned, I would definitely start with something a little toothy. I wouldn't go for silk or superwash merino. Those can be those can be very slippery actually. I would start with something such as Falkland, Polworth, Rambouillet, or I'm looking at my show notes, Corriedale. Those are some really nice medium staple length yarns that are going to, you know, they kind of act like Velcro, like when they just kind of grip to each other. It's not like spinning with Velcro, but you know what I'm saying, like the yarn, the fibers want to cling to each other, so you're not going to have yarn slipping or whatever. They're a lot more manageable and will give you a lot more traction, if that makes any sense. So definitely check that out. I know Three Waters Farm on Etsy has a really great selection of those fibers with some really fun colorways. They were one of my first go-to sources for spinning fiber. So I hope that answers your question. And again, if you have any questions you'd like me to answer on the podcast, leave them in the Ask Away thread over in the YarnGasm Ravelry group, and I'll do my best to answer them on the podcast. Or if it's very time sensitive, I'll do my best to answer them right there and then in the forum. So yes, that said, let's move on to shop update. Moving along to shop update, I will be having a shop update, an international friendly shop update this Saturday, August 4th at 10 a.m. Eastern time. And by international, of course, I mean that anyone can shop the update. It's just at a different time to mix things up for people who can't make my normal Friday 7 p.m. Eastern time update. So there you go. And I also want to say thank you so much to everyone who purchased yarn for my last update before I went away on vacation, because there was some time to wait before they could be shipped, but those orders have been shipped this week. So again, thank you so much for shopping that update and your patience while I went to relax and recuperate. So yes, I am back to my normal shipping schedule this week. And I also want to say thank you so much to everyone who purchased a skein of If I Want Exposure, I Will Get My Tits Out Titty Committee, which is a colorway that I dyed in conjunction with the hashtag Tits Out Collective, a movement started by the Countess Ablaze. She's a fellow indie dyer based in Manchester, United Kingdom, and she started this amazing movement to for raising money for women's aid. And I'm not going to get into the story because I've mentioned it a million times on the podcast, but I will of course link to the information behind hashtag Tits Out Collective down below. But this is the last batch that I dyed as a part of the hashtag Tits Out Collective. And it was a very limited batch, and this is the last batch that I will do to raise money. So I just want to say thank you so much from the bottom of my heart. I donated 50% of all sales of this colorway to Planned Parenthood. Planned Parenthood is an amazing organization that ensures that women have access to free and affordable health care when it comes to their reproductive rights, and I think it's just so incredibly important, and I think they do amazing work. So thank you so much to everybody who purchased a skein of this. As I mentioned, 50% of the sales went to Planned Parenthood, and together, you guys, we raised $625 US. So mind is blown completely, and yeah. Thank you so much. And to Lindsay, who is Countess Ablaze, for, again, starting this amazing movement. And I hope we can do it every year, because I think it's I just think it's amazing and phenomenal what she's done. And the fact that so many other indie dyers joined in, and designers, and it was incredible. It was just really incredible. And yeah, again, I hope we can do it again next year. So anyway, yay! These will be going out in the mail next Monday, so be on the lookout for that if you placed an order. And unfortunately, I'm not going to be dyeing this color anymore. This was like a limited edition one-time deal, so I'm very sorry if you missed out. I truly appreciate you wanting to purchase a skein, but them's the rules, and that's how it goes. But your support is always appreciated. So yay! Without further ado, here's what's going to be in the shop this Saturday. So I think you guys are going to be pretty excited, because I've been getting a lot of requests for I'm not going to be offering these as kits this week. However, a lot of you have been requesting the colors that I dyed for the Curious Handmade Impressionists MCAL. So these colorways will be back in stock. So I will have Thaw, which is this color right here. And this is it on my Sportlandia base, which is 100% superwash sport weight. I will have Solstice. I will have Curious as well. And yeah, since the last update was an all stock yarn update, this week is going to be a quote-unquote garment sweater quantity update. So I'm actually only going to have Sportlandia and Volca in stock. So again, the system's working out where I'm alternating bases each update. So many of you are able to come away with a sweater's quantity every week. So yay, I'm going to stick with it. Upon popular demand, I will have some Feyre. So here it is on Volca, and here it is on Sportlandia. And of course, what is Feyre without Resand? So yeah, these guys will be back in stock. It's been a while since I've dyed them, so I thought it was time for them to make a reappearance in the shop. And if you're wondering who Feyre and Resand are, they're characters from one of my favorite book series, A Court of Thorns and Roses. So I will, of course, post a link to that as well. Yeah, so yay! And then that is, wow, I've had too much caffeine today, guys. I don't know if you can tell. I'm all, I don't know, whatever you want to call it. I'm awake, I'm giddy, and bright-eyed and bushy-tailed. And I don't think that's a bad thing. That's what I've dyed so far. And Emily is coming over pretty soon to dye up some more colorways. I'm going to have her dye some more Sweet Dreams and some Dirty on Purpose. So in case you're wondering, Emily's coming over to help me dye yarn while I edit the podcast on Thursdays, because I'm pretty dead in the water as far as dyeing yarn is concerned on Thursdays when I put out the podcast. So really excited to have her come in and help me out, so you guys can have some more yarn. And yeah, I'm not sure if I'm gonna dye more yarn this week, but I'm gonna try, and I will keep you posted. Sign up for the newsletter if you haven't already, and you can do that by going to www.voolenvineyarns.com, and at the top there's a link to subscribe to the newsletter, so you can stay in the loop with all things Voolenvine yarns as far as updates, what colors are going to be in the shop, and any other news surrounding the biz. So again, I hope you guys can make it. The update is going to be on Saturday, August 4th at 10 a.m. Eastern time. And yeah, thanks for checking it out. Okay, moving along to the blather segment, a section where I chat about what's been happening in my life. Should you care to stick around? I'm gonna keep this pretty short because I feel like I've been going on and on for a while and my throat is getting pretty scratchy. So, but a quick Cape Cod recap. Yeah, Dennis and I went up to Cape Cod for a whole week. So as I mentioned, we did take Bella with us. Unfortunately, the trip up was not so fun. The trip back was totally fine, but this is the first time she actually got car sick and I felt so bad for her. Yeah, because normally she travels really well in the car, but going up, I don't know what happened, but I don't know if it's because she's getting older or what have you, but she threw up and she just got really car sick. I felt so horrible for her. But thankfully it happened at the beginning of the trip, so after it was kind of all out of her system, we actually had to stop off at a rest area and clean her up, and yeah, we had to take her out of her carrier. I held her in my arms in the car while Dennis had to clean up everything. I felt so bad for her. Yeah, so we put her back in the carrier. She was fine. She took a nap and she was asleep, and then she was happy as pie when we took her out finally when we got to the Cape. And coming back, she was fine. She took a nap. She didn't complain at all in her carrier. So I don't know what happened there, but I felt so horrible for her. This I think might be our the last year we actually take her up with us. We might just you know, find a friend to care for her, or you know, put her up somewhere so she has someone to look after her while we're away. But yeah, that was really interesting. Really interesting experience. So anyway, there's a story for you. But yeah, otherwise, yeah, we spent a week up at the Cape. I will say a week for me was probably a little too long to spend at the Cape, because if you follow the podcast, I'm not a beach person. I don't enjoy hiking trails. Me and nature, try as I might, me and nature just don't really get along. And plus the weather up there kind of gets to me after a while, between the humidity. It's either super hot, super chilly, or windy. And unfortunately, when we go to the beach, I can't go in the water because it is frigid. It is Arctic, I will say. Maybe that's just me. I'm chicken when it comes to swimming in cold water, but I cannot go in there. So I usually end up sitting on the beach burning as you do when you have vampire skin. And I actually came back with a really bad burn on my legs because we went the first beach day. It was actually pretty windy out, very windy. So I was actually sitting at the beach in a hoodie with sunglasses, cuddled with my book. Dennis was fine. I don't know where he gets it from, but anyway, he was fine. He was just hanging out on the beach, going in the water, you know, having a grand old time. And there I was sitting in my beach chair. We brought an umbrella, but the winds were just so strong it couldn't even hold up on itself. So, you know, we already paid $25 to sit on the beach, so we tried to make the most of it. And I'm usually pretty militant about applying sunblock. I wear SPF 100, 110 sometimes. I know it really doesn't matter as long as you wear SPF 30, but I don't play around. So again, hasty pride. And I burn really easily. And for some reason, sitting there in my hoodie on the beach, I don't know why it didn't occur to me to apply sunblock to my legs. I don't know, I was sitting there in shorts, but it was overcast out too. So it really didn't dawn on me that maybe I should put some sunblock on my knees. So anyway, there you have it. I think in the future, we will only be spending about 3 or 4 days going, you know, because I just, when it gets to that point, I just can't have a good time, unfortunately. And don't get me wrong, I love Cape Cod. It's beautiful. The parts that I do enjoy are the beautiful vistas, the seafood, of course, and you know, the fact that he has a really beautiful house that we can just quickly escape to over the summer, not quickly, but easily escape to over the summer, is a plus. And you know, I do enjoy that aspect of it. However, just the nature part, again, after the 3rd day of sitting on a beach, I'm good. But anyway, I've been rambling for way too long and this podcast has been going on for too long. So anyway, I'm gonna end things there. Thank you so much for tuning in this week. I hope you enjoyed the episode. If you did, please like and subscribe below. I'm getting used to this, guys. And happy knitting, and I will see you next time.